Hey, good people, how you doing? Welcome to episode 47 of 254 Rugby, where we dig deep into the local and global game. I am Michael Kwambo, taking you through episode 47. And man, there is a lot to unpack in this episode, including KCB tightening their grip on the National Sevens Circuit after another ruthless display at the Kabeberi Sevens, Daystar Falcons writing their own fairy tale, Mwamba's Women proving unstoppable, and the pools for the season-ending Dala Sevens in Kisumu. And then we will switch gears to the Rugby Championship, where New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, and Argentina served up two matches yet again of the highest quality. But like they say, charity begins at home, and we are starting at home with the Dala Sevens, where, well, what can I say? KCB, they are making a habit of turning the Kabeberi Sevens into their personal playground. You see, since the National Sevens Circuit resumed in 2022 after the pandemic, they've lifted this title every single time, 4 years in a row now, and 6 overall. The final at the RFUA ground on Sunday, 7th of September 2025, was a classic case of experience against momentum. You see, KCB were up against the Daystar Falcons, who came in as the story of the weekend, giant killing their way into a maiden cup final. But once the whistle went, KCB's pedigree showed. You see, Elvis Olukusi, Vincent Onyala, Samuel Asati, and again, Vincent Onyala, they were lethal for KCB in the first half. That is when they built their victory. Olukusi's power at the close quarters, Onyala's ability to manipulate space, and then Samuel Asati's tempo at scrum half gave them total control. And you see, they were leading by halftime, 20 points to 0. And for Daystar, kudos to them for putting up a fight. It's worth noting that KCB's kickoffs were near perfect. 2 contestable restarts retained, and these led to scoring opportunities. That was the key difference. Daystar, to their credit, man, they had this guy called Patrick Odongo, reminding everyone of his international pedigree with a searing run down the left flank. He accelerated and obviously beat his national teammate, Floyd Wabwire, for pace. What I can say about Odongo is that his acceleration is unmatched at the moment domestically. They added another late try, but the early damage from KCB had done it. Final score, 2010 to KCB. They have been in 5 cup finals on the 2025 National Sevens Circuit. They have won 3 cup titles and lost 2. And man, that just shows you their dominance. And on a lighter note, the KCB Vets won the Kabeberi Vets Memorial Tournament too. So it was a good weekend of hunting for KCB. And, Andrew Omonde, the KCB interim coach, speaking after the final, said that he felt that execution and territorial control were the keys for KCB. And you know what? He's right, because KCB were much sharper than they were in Embu. What does that mean for the bigger picture now? This is what it means. It's something quite drastic. I'm just going to pull up the standings in a moment to show you how drastic it is. Because what it means simply is that KCB are on 104 points. They are well clear of, just trying to look for these standings. It's a bit, when you're a producer and presenting this on your own, you've got to be a jack of all trades, but it's growth. I guess we'll get better with time, but this is what we were looking for and pulling it up on the screens there. This is what it means. This is what it means. It means that KCB now sit on 104 points. They are 9 points clear of the Strathmore Leos heading into the season-ending Dala Sevens. It's very simple for KCB what they need to do in Kisumu. They just need to finish ahead of the Leos to clinch their 5th circuit crown. And, doing that would make KCB the most successful team since the National Sevens Circuit was first played in 1999. For the Strathmore Leos, man, the result at Kabeberi was a body blow. You see, they have been toe-to-toe with KCB all through the season. They had been in 3 of the previously played 4 cup finals. And more importantly, they were just 2 points behind KCB before Kabeberi. But what happened now? The semi-final defeat against the Daystar Falcons left them chasing shadows. And that 12-10 loss will sting. Missed tackles in midfield and 2 botched kickoff receipts, costing them dearly. Like we said, for the Strathmore Leos now, everything to do in Kisumu. They must win the tournament and hope that KCB do not make it out of the pool stages into the cup quarterfinals. Still talking about the Kabeberi Sevens, and let's touch on on the Daystar Falcons. We have to give credit where it is due because they stunned the Oilers in the quarters, edged the Leos in the semis, and announced themselves as a team that can compete at the top. Coach Caleb Bosire admitted definitely in the final that kickoff experience or inexperienced cost them in the final, but he says he is targeting a top 6 finish in Kisumu to cap what would be an outstanding campaign. So yeah, that is just part of what it is from the Dala Sevens. Just want to pull up some more images from the Dala Sevens, from the Kabeberi Sevens. That's what it is from the Kabeberi Sevens. Just want to pull up some images there from the Kabeberi Sevens, including KCB on your screens there, celebrating their cup title victory at the Kabeberi Sevens. 5 cup finals this season, 3 cup titles, 104 points. They are marching ever so closer to that 5th National Sevens Circuit title. There was also a hilarious moment from Kabeberi Sevens. Again, something that we are going to pull onto the screen right now. And it involves Bob Muhati. You see, during the Embu Sevens, he had sin binned, and there was a picture of him circulating on social media. But what Bob Muhati did really was, make the most of it in terms of what? In terms of recreating that meme at the Kabeberi Sevens Cup presentation final. You see, this is what happened. This is how he had been captured in Embu, and obviously recreating it here because he was the butt of jokes on social media, but recreating it here with the cup title and the player of the final title to boot. So something big for Bob Muhati from the Kabeberi Sevens. And so that's what happened in the men's competition. The Women's National Sevens Circuit has also been ongoing, and I must tell you that there's a team that has been in fine form throughout the season, and that team is Mwamba RFC. They confirmed basically what we already knew, that they are the benchmark. 4 tournaments, 4 wins. Prince Lou, Christy Sevens, Embu, and now Kabeberi. In my opinion, it's not just about dominance. It's about consistency. It's about adaptability. And it's about resilience. You see, they played Impala in the cup final at the Kabeberi Sevens, and they found themselves trailing 12-0. They rallied to tie that game 12-all before Edith Nariaka scored in extra time to claim the result 17-12 for Mwamba. And I must say that the final, having watched it, was a fascinating study in pressure. Impala executed their game plan brilliantly early on, direct running through midfield, quick ruck ball, and a couple of defensive lapses. But Mwamba adjusted. They tightened their spacing on defense, slowed the breakdown, used width to stretch Impala late in the game. By extra time, the momentum had completely shifted. Edith Nariaka's golden try securing the victory for Kulabu Ladies, National Sevens Circuit champions for the year 2025. And we managed to get a hold of the Mwamba head coach, Mary Ochieng, who previously coached Impala during their successes on the same National Sevens circuit. And this is what Mary had to say. The video coming up just now. And here we go. Mary Ochieng, the Mwamba head coach, celebrating Kulabu ladies' victory in the Women's National Sevens Circuit 2025.
Coach Mary Ochieng, head coach for Mwamba Women. Thank God for the win today. I think Impala, former coach, the former coach of Impala, won back-to-back last season. This season I won back-to-back with the Mwamba Kulabu, considering my rugby career. And today, when they stood up, was character. Those guys, we had 4 injuries. We didn't even have a bench. We had new guys in the bench. But it was about character that you don't go down, you fight till the death. We were trailing at halftime. Tell the girls, first of all, relax. We didn't relax. Maintain our structure. Don't play to the structure. Play what we've trained, play what we know. Play to our strengths. And that's how we won.
Okay, at halftime we were trailing. Maybe how did you motivate the girls to come back and win the match in the last minute?
I told them, this is your tournament. We are at home. Nobody comes to your home and invade and don't fight back. When you're at home, you fight harder, give all your all. When number 10 has pulled, she can't run. But she told me, coach, let me play this for you.
How emotional was it facing your former side?
It was a very emotional moment, especially when the being on a suburb, I was asked, which team is upon the finals? It's very tricky. It's my former team. I told them, may the best team win. But I told them, you have a chance. Honestly, I told them, Impala, you have a chance. Play what I taught you. And they brought it up.
But lastly, what worked well for your side today?
I hate again, character. Impala were leading, was their game to lose. Character, that even when you're out of breath, even when you push everything, even when you're tired, you still give it another push, empty the tank. In fact, run on air until you get it right.
Thank you.
Wow, and that is a very passionate Mary Ochieng there, just breaking down how Mwamba defeated Impala to win the Women's National Sevens Circuit overall title with that cup final victory at the Kabeberi Sevens in Nairobi on Sunday, 7th of September 2025. And I must tell you that for Mwamba, this was more than just a trophy. It was proof that even when they're challenged, they can find a way by adapting. Well, still on matters related to the National Sevens Circuit and the pools for the grand finale of the 2025 men's competition on the National Sevens Circuit, the Dala Sevens, taking place in Kisumu City this coming weekend, have been confirmed. And I guess I must say that they are as competitive as you would expect them for a grand finale. Let's just have a look at the pools, pulling them up on the screen right now. And we are going to look at the pools. Remember, Kabra Sugar are the defending champions for the Dala Sevens. Here are the pools on our screens there. Kabra Sugar headlining Pool A. They are alongside the Catholic Monks, Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology, and Nakuru RFC. In Pool B, we have the surprise package from the Kabeberi Sevens. That is the Daystar Falcons. They are together with Mombasa Sports Club, Rugby Club, Kenya Harlequin, and Nondescripts. Pool C has league leaders and champions-elect, in my opinion, KCB Rugby, Mwamba RFC, Homeboys, and Embu RFC, while Pool D has the Strathmore Leos, Menengai Oilers, Impala RFC, and Kisumu RFC. And you know, let's just look at the pools and break them down. Kabra Sugar are the defending champions in Pool, and they play out of Pool A. They definitely are the heavy favorites, and you know, they will look first of all to get out of the pool stages and go as far as they possibly can in the cup competition. Remember, this past weekend, they welcomed back Kevin Wekesa, and it was quite an impact that Kevin Wekesa had for Cabras, steering his side to the semi-finals, where they lost to KCB in a close contest, 21 points to 17. Pool B, remember, we've already talked about it earlier, but once again, I guess the Daystar Falcons will be out to prove that Kabeberi was no fluke. Queens will be looking to make up after a tournament that really was disappointing for them. Remember, there had been reports of upheaval in the Queens Cup heading into this competition. And then nondescript RFC back to the top tier after winning the Division 2 competition at the George Mwangi Kabeberi Memorial Sevens. Pool C has the leaders KCB, Mwamba, Homeboys, and Embu. I think that KCB will need to be sharp from the very first whistle. Remember, they're going out for the overall title. There's two ways for them to win it. The first way is for them to reach the cup quarterfinals. They can afford to lose that, but they cannot afford to lose the 5th place playoff, because winning that match will give them 13 points, which will take them to the unassailable 117 points, a lead that cannot be matched by the Strathmore Leos in the event that the Leos go all the way to win the cup title in Kisumu. Pool D, Strathmore Leos, man, this is do or die for the students from Madaraka. Remember, they suffered a massive body blow at Kabeberi. They'll need perfection, and now they will also hope that KCB slip. Okay, so what's the interesting subplot from the Dala Sevens, which we expect this coming weekend? Strathmore and KCB are in separate pools. This means that both could advance deep, but unless the Leos, like we said, win the tournament outright, their chances are slim. For KCB, it's about staying clinical and not getting caught up in the knockout chaos. Well, that has been the National Sevens Circuit review. We want to go over the pond and talk about the Rugby Championship. Another interesting weekend. Margins are razor thin. Let's just look at what happened in the Rugby Championship this past weekend. Just getting you some of the graphics from the weekend's fixtures. Here we go. First up, looking at the results, and we are going to talk about the fixtures from the weekend. Let's start with that clash between the All Blacks and the Springboks in Eden Park in New Zealand. Tell you, margins, like we said, razor thin, and execution is everything. At Eden Park, the All Blacks extended their unbeaten record against South Africa at the venue since 1937, winning 24 points to 18. I must tell you, this win wasn't comfortable. It was a game of very different halves. You see, New Zealand dominated the opening 50 minutes. Narawa scored early from a high ball contest. Will Jordan struck next with his trademark line running. Queen Tupaea added another. It was 17-0. Then, at this point, I must tell you, the Springboks, they looked rattled, man. And then came the bomb squad. Rassi Erasmus's joker, as always. Bon Fenter demolished Tyrell Lomax at scrum time, swinging momentum. Jean-Hendrik Wessels settled the line out, and Kobus Reinach darted over. The Boks clawed back, and suddenly Eden Park was nervous. Now, this match boiled down to accuracy. Bowden Barrett producing a sensational left foot 50-22, leading directly to Jordan's try. Contrast that with Andre Pollard's kick. You know, he nailed his own brilliant 50-22, only for Malcolm Marks to fluff the line out through. That was the difference. One side was ruthless, the other side was sloppy. Adi Savere's turnover at the death sealed it. And I must tell you, this is a fitting moment for Adi Savere because he's playing his 100th test for New Zealand. I however, feel that the hidden gem for New Zealand was Wallace Sititi. This is what he produced. 13 carries, 10 tackles and 3 lineouts. He took on the heavy lifting at number 8, freeing Savea to wreak havoc as a true open side. This was a glance of New Zealand's back row future, if you ask me. Now let's go to the second game in Australia, played in Townsville. If Eden Park precision was if Eden Park was precision versus sloppiness, this was resilience versus indiscipline. You see, Argentina were electric. They raced into a 21-7 lead. Carreras and Delgado on the wings, causing all sorts of chaos. And at 21-7, we were, like saying, man, this is just typical Australia of late. And, Argentina looked to be cruising. But then Joe Smith is building something with this Australian side. It's a pity that he will be leaving sooner rather than later. I don't know what he did to them, but he talked to them at halftime, I think, ensured that discipline was paramount, and they turned it around in the second half. They cut down the penalties. They upped the tempo when it came to the rucks from over 3 seconds to under 2. And because of that, suddenly the Pumas were scrambling. Nick White and Angus Bell, they then scored to bring the Wallabies back. And then Joseph Suwali, what a performance. His brace, including the last-minute winner, securing that 28-24 comeback. Stats will tell quite an interesting tale. That, in the first half, Australia conceded 8 consecutive penalties and lost collision after collision. Second half, Argentina conceded 9 penalties, missed 19 tackles, and lost composure. That's the difference. Harry Wilson's captaincy for Australia, if you ask me, deserves a mention. Turning down easy penalty kicks to chase tries, and that showed belief. And then the bench, including the seasoned James O'Connor and McDermott, added a lot of composure. For Argentina, it was a missed opportunity. For Australia, perhaps the start of a new identity under Schmidt. Well, this has been 254 Rugby episode 47. We just want to recap what we have been through in this episode. It has been a good episode, though, must tell you. Look, KCB on the local scene, or the local national Sevens Circuit scene, are set to crown a dynasty. I think for the Daystar Falcons, man, they announced themselves loudly at the Kabeberi Sevens, while in the women's competition, Mwamba have completed a perfect season. Literally, not a perfect season, but the perfect season. 4 cup finals, 4 cup titles, national Sevens Circuit champions for 2025. In Kisumu, everything comes down to whether Strathmore can perform miracles or whether KCB will seal their place in history. Internationally, the Rugby Championship reminded us why Test rugby is the pinnacle. New Zealand, precise. South Africa, inconsistent. Australia, resilient. And Argentina, wasteful. 2 classics, 2 lessons in the fine margins of rugby. We will be at the Dala Sevens, bringing you all the drama from Kisumu. Until then, you can follow us on our website, 254rugby.com, and our socials at 254rugby. Share the pod, and as always, keep it locked and keep it rugby. Until next time, this is Michael Kwambo. See you on episode 48 real soon. A special mention to our sponsors, La Villa Fitness, for all the support they ensure in making sure this episodes of 254 Rugby come to you. Until again, catch you later.